What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about AMC GME as well as the overall broader market. So today AMC was down for 7.64% for the day. It had a high of $12.20. The average volume on AMC is around 52.37 million, but today's volume was around 27.80 million. So today was the very worst day for the overall broader market. There was quite a bit of sell-off that was happening in the overall broader market just because the inflation number came to all-time highs. Crypto is going down significantly. Ethereum has gone down way too much. I personally believe there is a quite a lot more downside coming into the crypto market as well as the overall broader market. But for the meanwhile, I personally believe we might have found a bottom. We might get some sort of a squeeze coming into the overall broader market just after the Fed meeting. I personally believe the Fed is going to stick to 50 basis point. There is no need of increasing 75 basis point. Quite a lot of FUD out there. A lot of mainstream media articles are posting that the Fed might increase a 75 basis point on this Wednesday, which can definitely create some sort of extreme level of fear in the overall broader market. But I personally believe right now we are in a very oversold state and we might experience some sort of a upward momentum coming into the overall broader market. So does AMC as well as GME. Now let's come over to the GameStop. Now GameStop was down for 8.40% for the day. It had a high of $124.53. The average volume on GameStop is around 5.21 million, but today's volume was around 3.44 million. The volume was still okay. I won't say that it was down way too much because I've seen the volume consistently coming in GameStop around 1.5 million to 2 million, and that stock price was pretty stable at that point as well. But right now the volume is a little bit higher than what it used to come, though it's not anywhere close to the average volume. But this average volume is going to go down along with the time as well if the volume keeps coming low in the GameStop. Now the utilization in GameStop as well as AMC is 100%, which means we might experience some sort of upper momentum, aggressive one coming into both the stocks if the overall market start going up from here onwards. Now let's come over to the SPY. Now the SPY was down for 3.80%. It had a high of $381.81. Since morning, we are experiencing a significant sell-off in the overall broader market, which is not at all a good sign for anywhere to invest your money. Now Bitcoin has gone down to almost 23,000, which is not at all a good sign. Now when we look at the chart of the Bitcoin, it definitely overshot to the upside. It was expecting and some sort of a correction coming into it, and this kind of a deep correction which is not over yet. I personally believe the Bitcoin is going to go back to 10 to $12,000. Now the kind of downward trend that we experience in the SPY, that's it's way too much of a sell-off. Now we were already in a downtrend from such a long time, from 7 to 8 weeks. Now we got a further downtrend just because of the inflation number that came completely out of control. Now we have the Fed meeting on this Wednesday and we are expecting them to be increasing 50 basis point. But just this morning, a lot of mainstream media articles started coming out that in order to control the 8.6% inflation number that came in, the Fed might have to increase a 75 basis point, which can definitely send a lot of fear into the overall broader market. But I personally believe the Fed is not going to do that. Fed is only going to increase 50 basis point because the elections are near and they don't want to do anything drastic which can create a lot of fear into the overall broader market. So in my personal experience, this was a pretty good buying opportunity. Let's see how tomorrow it plays out. If you are making a short-term trade, a swing trade, then today was the day to buy some call options. This is not a financial advice. I'm not asking you to buy or sell anything. This is what I am actually doing for myself. Now, why am I so confident regarding we might experience some sort of a upward momentum coming into the overall broader market? It's just because of the VIX. Now, we got this big gap coming in between the chart of the VIX. Usually what happens with the gaps, it gets filled. Just in my personal experience, I personally believe every time VIX hits a 35 or 34, we are going to go towards the downside into the VIX from there onwards. If VIX shot up anything over 40%, that is pretty extreme level of fear and you should be fearful after that. But this kind of a jump we have been experiencing from a very long time. 35, 34, 36, even 40 is a point where definitely from that point VIX usually trace back down, which indicates a bullish sentiment coming towards the upside for the overall broader market. But we have a huge gap in over here between, so that indicates we might be experiencing some sort of a downtrend coming into the VIX. Now let's come over to the options flow for the AMC. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Now all these whales are on to the downside. They are buying leap options and they are all betting that the AMC will keep going down from here onwards. This $90 put option is definitely suspicious. The current price of this stock is around $11.48 at market close, and they're buying $90 put, which means these market makers are a little bit scared when they are buying put option on AMC. They might experience some sort of a aggressive upward momentum coming into AMC just because utilization is almost 100%, can experience some sort of a upward momentum coming into AMC as well as GME. But the main problem right now is the liquidity. There is not much money in the market. Everybody is scared. Not many investors are willing to invest their money right now. So that's why a big liquidity crisis is there. That's why AMC and GME might not experience the kind of upward momentum we are expecting. But definitely there is a fear from the market maker side. That's why they are betting these $90 put option, that even if the price of the AMC goes up, still this put option are not going to be worthless. Now when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the mini whales and the retail are doing, the surprising thing came down today was there were a lot of individual those who were buying call options. This was amazing. After a very long time, I'm seeing that the option flow has changed a little bit, especially in AMC. It's been quite a while that I haven't seen many people buying call options into it. Majority of them are pretty scared buying any call options, and majority of the retail investors as well were on to the downside. But today it changed significantly. These individuals are buying call options, which indicates a little bit of good sentiment coming towards the stock. Now let's come over to the options flow for the GameStop. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Now the options flow in GameStop has changed completely. Till yesterday we were extremely bullish to the upside, but now these individuals are buying put options. That means they are betting that the GameStop is gonna keep going down from here onwards. Now if the market maker keep bringing down the price of the GameStop, I'm pretty sure that the retail investor is gonna buy those stocks again in order to increase the price of the GameStop. Now when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the mini whales and the retail are doing, majority of them are onto the downside. There were few call buying happening, which is not at all anywhere close to indicating that we might experience some sort of upward momentum coming into the GameStop. Now I personally believe we are going to go down a slight bit more in GameStop, and then as we know that around the price of 80 to $100, there is a quite a lot of momentum that comes into the GameStop. Now we have this Fed meeting, which is very crucial, which is going to decide where the overall broader market is going to go from here onwards. The rest, there was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow for the GameStop. Now let's come over to the options flow for the SPY. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Majority of the whales are onto the downside. Now this bet that came in this morning, it is $59.7 million bet, and this individual is betting 20,000 contracts and is buying a $400 put option, which is basically in the money. But 31 days into expiration is not much of a time. So this individual is expecting that the Fed might increase a 75 basis point, which might send the market a little bit more aggressively to the downside. Just in my personal opinion, I don't think so that the market is going to go down from here onwards. Even if it goes down a slight bit, then we are definitely going to experience some sort of a upward momentum, and that even an aggressive one to the upside, because right now the overall sentiment of the market is to the downside. A lot of investors are betting put options and they are expecting that the SPY is going to go down from here onwards. But we know how the market maker play around this game. They are going to do exactly the opposite of it, so that all these put options get worthless. $59.7 million bet was definitely a little bit suspicious, because it's a lot of money this individual is putting, that the SPY is going to go down from here onwards. Now there was this another one, there was this $385 put option that's going to expire in 66 days. This individual is giving a slight bit more time to himself as compared to this $59.7 million bet, but this individual is betting $38.1 million and he's buying 18,000 contracts, which doesn't indicate any kind of a downtrend into the overall broader market. But we definitely have some sort of a sign to the upside on the chart of the SPY. Now when we look at the chart of the SPY, these are big major gaps that are coming into the SPY. Now what that means is these gaps are going to get filled pretty soon, so we might experience some sort of a upward momentum coming into the SPY. We might not have some sort of aggressive momentum coming tomorrow, but after the Fed meeting, I'm expecting we might see some boom boom candles coming into the overall broader market and especially into the SPY. Now, when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the mini whales are doing, majority of them are onto the downside, but there were quite a bit of call buying that was happening onto the SPY today, which I personally believe it's time to place that bet. Just because we are in an extreme level of oversold state, we cannot go down just like that in one direction. We have been going down like that since the last couple of months, that we just heading to the downside. We had a slight bit of relief rally that came in just a couple of weeks back, and that was not significant enough to decide a direction into the stock market. And after that, the inflation number that came out, which were very horrible, then it sent the stock market a little bit more towards the downside. Now, when I bring down the premium a slight bit more and see what exactly the mini retail is doing, now there were some of them, those who were buying call options, which is not at all suspicious for me. I personally believe we might have found a bottom, but you never know. It all comes down to what's going to happen on the Fed meeting and what they're going to announce. If they announce a 50 basis point, I'm expecting we're going to go up from here onwards, because it's clearly indicating in the charts of the SPY as well as the VIX we might have found the bottom. So thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.